We have a Samsung electric dryer that won't heat. So we're going to be repairing it by doing a little work from behind the dryer. So first thing, come over, unplug it. It's always good to check both breakers for your electric dryer to make sure both of the breakers are turned on, because if one is tripped you may lose heat. In this case we've already checked the breakers. So we're going to be getting the washer and dryer out. A little further, we need to have some room we can get back here, and to do that we're just going to put a little bit of something slippery down by the feet, so some Windex would be good, and then we'll grab it inside here and pull both of them out to create enough room. So we're going to try to, we got some lubricant down there underneath the feet. We're going to try to get this moving here at the top. Should kind of come out together. Yeah, I got a little bit of motion there. We'll do the other side. We only need to get it out probably about 2 feet would be good. And grab down here inside the frame. Get more leverage, and I'll grab in here. Make sure everything's moving with you. There's the vent tube. Get that out of the way. And we're going to come out a little further. We're checking also the drain for the washer. We're going to pull that out. There's more room. We got enough here on these lines, so we can keep coming out. The cool thing about the Samsung dryer is that you can take off this thing, and this comes off, and it gives you a lot of room to work, and you can test some of the components that are related to heat. It might have overheated, and that's what cut the power. Get that one out. And this one just kind of wiggles off. And you can look inside there. You've got a fair amount of room to work. Inside of here are the little thermal things. If I can point them out to you. Make sure you got this unplugged before you start touching these things, but this one is probably the one we got to work on. We're going to pull one of these little terminals off, and then we'll do a test with our multi-tester to see if it might be tripped. These get too hot though. This one could basically, like a fuse, blow and cut power. So we got that removed. Make sure you have it unplugged. I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and I'm going to wiggle off one of these connectors. So I got off that one, and then I'm going to put my multi-tester on this one and this one and see if there's continuity. If there is continuity, we should hear a beep. So I'm going to set this thing, continuity. And this one can give me a little beep if there is a complete circuit. There we go. Okay, let's try these two guys. So that one is okay. So that is not the cause. Let's check the next one. That back on. So this one should also have continuity. Let's take off one of those two. We'll check that one. Between these two terminals, let's see what we got. That one's good. We're going to check this back one. That's the element itself. That could be blown too. So I don't think we're getting continuity from the element. That would mean it's got an internal break somewhere. I'm going to confirm that. tricky to get these little guys to touch at the same time. Yeah, so no continuity in there. That means that this element has a break. So we just got to get this thing out of here, and we can put a new one in. So to put in a new element, we're going to take off the front, and to do that we'll go behind the dryer. We got it unplugged, and remove a couple of Phillips head screws in the back. We have to actually take off the top. That one. That one. Now we're going to move the top back. Sometimes there'll be little pieces of tape that were put on there, so you may have to remove the tape. But you just want to pull the top back by about an inch and you can get it off. Up top, get up on maybe a ladder or a step stool. Just get this back by about an inch. And then you should be able to wiggle it off, get that out of the way. That one off, we want to get this off. We're going to go in underneath here, gently pry up on these little pins. There we go. One more over there. This will come off. There should be a connector you have to get out. I'll lift this up a little bit. Could just lift this up too, get it out of the way. I'm going to take out some of these screws here so we can get this off. And there'll be more connectors. Also, there's these little tabs here, so you have to kind of lift up to get this off. I'm going to get out these Phillips head screws. Open up the door, and we want to get off these guys. These are also holding this front panel on. So you got this one. Remember that has coarse thread. Coarse thread. That one's different though. That's a machine thread. This one. Machine thread. So machine thread, coarse, coarse. This goes into plastic. This goes into metal. Let's get out these guys on the top. Coarse. It's going into sheet metal. Coarse. Coarse. Bring this weight in here. Coarse. Okay. So we get this off. There'll be a few connectors we have to undo also. Out of the way for a sec. This comes towards you. You can see that connector right there is for the door switch. We want to undo that one. Just pulled that one out. Pull it towards you. Okay, now we should be able to lift this up off, get it out of the way. I'm going to lift up. Okay, and I'm doing good. I almost got access to where I need to get for the element. Set this down. And there is our friend the element right here. So basically we got to get this one screw up here. We can pull it out. We do have some connectors still though, right, to power the element here. Of course. Get that out of there. You can just larger connector off of the element, blue, and the one on top, red. those off. And I got a couple on the thermos. Okay, that one's off. I got a couple in the very back for the overload. That one off. That one off. Okay, now we should be able to pull this out. There's room to get this out. Let's make sure. Go out the back too, or you can remove this. I think I'll just go out the back. So we did remove this, gives us room. Get that out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and remove these screws and we can open this. I'm just confirming that this is really burned out. Yeah, I'm not getting any reading here. Take out these three on this side, these three on this side, or four on this side. We can open this up. So I think some people might be asking, could we have just taken that whole thing out from the back? I think so. If you could get your tool with maybe an angle tool here to remove that one Phillips head screw, you take that out and then you could push the whole thing toward the front a little bit and then pull out the back after removing the wire. So definitely could. Might even be quicker. Put the new one in, you've got to get these little guys out, and they have a little tab that's bent. So here's the current one, and you just got to bend those tabs straight using your pliers, and then you can get it out of there. See, that one's got a little bend to it. Just try to get those little tabs straight. You should be able to pop those out and pull out like that, right? And then you can lift out the old element, kind of get a feel of how the new one's going to go in. So just copying it. You can tell this is kind of indented, this ridge in the middle, and this is indented in the middle, so it's the same orientation. I'm going to slip out the old element, get that out, pop the new one into the housing in the same place. See what fits in there. There's even like a slot for it. You can see that it's kind of given away here. Line up those holes. And these are going to go through on top. Make this one go on the bottom. There we go. So I'm facing this, the one on my left, the one in the top, and the one on my right, and the one on the bottom. That looks good. You got to make sure that this metal coil doesn't touch each other, nor does this metal touch the frame when you close it all up, because that would cause it to constantly be on or cause a short circuit. So now that I got these in here, I'm just going to bend these little tabs a little bit, bend that one up, bend that one up, and that's going to keep it from slipping in. I'll do the same on the other side. Just use some needle nose pliers would work great. Bend that one up, bend that one up. Sometimes when you do this repair, you can get this whole case is already done. It has all these parts. It's the elements in the case. Doesn't cost much more. In this case, we have a new element that we're just putting into the old case. Slip it in. We're going to line up all the holes. Do the screw in the middle. You can look at the old element too. Sometimes you'll find there's a break in the wire. Let's see if it's very apparent. Yeah, right there. There it is. So that's why there was no heat. That has to be a continuous wire. Seem solid. That whole frame around, if you want to line up the holes a little better, watch out because it's a lot of sharp sheet metal in there. And just kind of start it a little bit with your fingers, and you can use your screw gun or your screwdriver to finish it up. To reinstall it, you could do another continuity check with everything. Here's the new element. So that sounds good. Here is the thermostat. That sounds good. Here is the high limit for if it gets too hot. Sounds good. And another thing you can try is touch to one of the terminals and then touch the frame. If you hear anything, that means the wire's touching the frame. Try the other one. Yeah, so you're good to go. We're going to reinstall this now that has the heating element. You'll notice that there is a little projection here. I think that has to go into a slot at the top back there. Let's take a look. I'm going to put this in, push this in. We're actually going from the back. Be more room. Just going to feed it in from the back toward the front. Alright, let's see if we can get this in correctly. So, just gotta push that in, I think. And you'll notice this tab is going to go into here. It's a slot there, so we gotta line all that up. Okay, that's in. Then we got to get a screw in right here. Get that screw back in. We're going to go ahead and put these terminals back on. You do this from the back. You see a little better. But again, you may be able to do this whole thing from the back. It's possible. So when we hook up these wires, got these two big guys, red and blue, are going to go on the big terminals here. And this big blue one. Okay. Good. So we've got our new element back in place, and next thing we're just going to put the top or the front section back in. So we're going to set the bottom of it down on these three pins first. We'll angle it in, And we could start to get our screws all ready for that too. Okay, so we'll lift this up. We're going to set it down onto those pegs. And we'll hook up the door switch next step. So that's all in the 3 pegs. Here's that door switch. Just going to push that back in. Make sure it's all the way seated as far as it can go in. Get that one back in. And now we're going to push this back up. And we'll add some of the screws coming in from the top. So those are going to be these coarse ones. And the head is not quite as big as some of the other ones. Okay, we got one in. We'll do the other ones on top. So again, they're going to be the ones, not the big head, just the smaller head. Okay, then we have some in the front. This one. This one. These are the machine ones. So, as you recall from the beginning of the video, the machine ones go into metal. So one here and one below it. There we go. And one below it. There we go. We have 2 plastic ones here. These do have the bigger, kind of the bigger head though to them. You know, they have a washer on them. Put that one in. That one. Got it. Close that. We want to get this back into position. So we're going to slide these down into their slots. And we'll close and lock those down at the top. Okay, looks good. We'll put the top back on. So we're going to get that kind of near the front. Get straight. I'm about 1.5 inches away from the front. Kind of slide it in. Get that seam tight. And now add those screws in the back. Definitely need to get behind the machine to do this. Sometimes when I don't have as much room and I want to go through the front, I'll stand on a stepping stool and I'll reach over to be able to get these 2 guys out. Because once I get them out, I can get the top off and then I can get to the front panel. That one. And this one. Good. Okay, now we're going to get this one back in. And if we look in there, notice that vent back there has to connect to that tube. So just take your time. So it's like a rubber gasket to get rid of some of the vibration. Fit that in, kind of look, line it up best you can. You can also look through the tube, that helps, right? Get lined up, wiggle it on. Looks good. And then try to get these little tabs go inside. We'll add that one. See, that one little Phillips head screw there. Okay, we're doing good, and we will now just put things back together here. I'm going to put the drain hose back in. Standpipe. Put this vent tube back on. We're going to move the dryer back a little bit first and we'll finish that up. So we're going to turn on power. Got it plugged back in, got the dryer vent back. Go ahead and start it. Make sure it's going to heat up. Oh yeah, nice and hot in here now. Very good. Thanks so much for watching our video today. I hope that this video has saved you some time and money. And if so, could you please press down in the video description below the donation link and send us a donation so we can keep this service going. Thanks again. And if you have any questions about this repair, could you contact